guys, welcome back to The Bright Side. Macy here, the Bright Side Girl, and today we're going to be doing a mini April reading wrap up. So these are going to be the books that I read for April when we were not doing a readathon. The readathon we did for April was round 2 of Randomathon, which is my readathon that changes themes every time. This year's theme was all around flowers and gardens and plant magic, so I will link my flower reading wrap up in the cards in case you missed it. This is everything I read for the first part of April when we were doing the readathon, and today we're going to talk about the things that I read for the rest of the month. I only have 5 books to talk about. We are going to reverse the order this time. We're going to talk about favorite to least favorite because my favorite was one you've already heard about, and then my least favorite is one that I want to do a small rant about. So I thought it would be like the most fun to watch at the end. I did 4 audiobooks and 1 physical book for the part of April that I did not do during the readathon. So we're just gonna dive right in. All right, so short and sweet. I actually read The Rose Bargain. I actually got this new pretty edition from Barnes & Noble because I loved it so much. So this one I read during Randomathon, and this was a 5-star read for me, so much so that I immediately started it over on audiobook because I just wanted to soak up like every detail, and I had a friend that started reading it, so I wanted to make sure I didn't like miss anything. I don't know, I've never done this before ever. I went over this in that reading wrap up as well as the reading vlogs, which I will also link down below. First, in a YA duology that was new this year. This is Fae Magic. It is Victorian era. It's got slight Bridgerton vibes, slight Cruel Prince vibes. It was brutal. It was romantic. It was everything. It's my favorite book of the year so far. So 5 stars for my reread. Then moving on to the 4 stars, I did The Dream Thieves, which is the 3rd book in the Raven Boys Quartet. And I really enjoyed this one. I think this is my favorite one in the series, which is why I try to focus on finishing series, because sometimes the 2nd and 3rd ones will be my favorite. I won't finish series if I don't enjoy the first book, but I will put a little bit of pressure on myself to continue series and try not to get distracted by all the new shiny things, just because sometimes they get better and better, and that is the case with this one. This is such a unique series. It's unlike anything I've ever read before. The writing is so lyrical and whimsical and magical. It has to do with ley lines and friendship, magic, curses and witches and demons, and just so much good fantasy elements. There is a ragtag team of characters. There are 4 Raven Boys, and we're following Blue, and they go on these adventures to find ley lines in search of a Welsh king, and there's just so many cool magical elements. I'm not doing this justice. I will do it better justice in my May reading wrap up because I just finished the series. I loved it so much. It was so unique. The narrator did such a good job. There are so many different characters. I will definitely be rereading this sometime because I know I missed a ton of stuff, but I absolutely loved this series. I thought it was so great. So I gave this one like a 4.25. Next was The Deathly Grimm by Catherine Purdy. This is the 2nd in a duology. The first one was The Forest Grimm. This is such a great YA duology. It has so many strong fairy tale vibes. In the first book, we are following our main character. She lives in this area that is around this forest that you're not supposed to go into because people go and disappear. There was a curse put on like her village, and the crops and things start dying, and she decides to venture in the forest to hunt for her mother and to hopefully break this curse. Along the way, she stumbles into these like fairy tale type characters like Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty that are kind of stuck in the woods. It ties a bunch of different fairy tales together. Sweet little romance in here. A lot to do with friendship and fairy tales. It has very strong winter vibes. So if you're a seasonal reader, I would suggest it for the winter time. This was the sequel. I did like the first book a little bit more, but this one had the same kind of tone. I loved the narrator, and overall the writing and everything was just really good. So I'm excited to read more from this author, and this was a solid 4-star. Continuing on my series kick, I read Treacherous Curse by Deanna Raybourn. This is the 3rd in the Veronica Speedwell series. This is part of a giant buddy read that I'm hosting on Instagram and Storygraph. I'm slightly behind. We were gonna go for 1 book a month because there are 9 in total right now, but I only got to 3 so far, but that's okay. This is another historical fiction mystery series. We are following Veronica, and she is very sassy. She hunts and studies butterflies. And then we are following Stoker, and he studies animals and different things. Each book has its own like unique murder mystery that they're trying to solve, and then you're also getting new events from the lives of the characters and this really delightful slow burn romance. Stoker is kind of like a Darcy, snarky, dark past type character. I am so enjoying it. It is so delightful. Each book has had a different tone. This one kind of had like a mummy, treasure hunting, Indiana Jones style vibe about it. It had that kind of energy. I've heard the fourth book has like Mermaid Island energy, so I'm very excited for that one. I love Victorian era books. I love a sassy female Victorian lady that defies societal standards. I'm really enjoying this series, so again, another 4-star. Okay, then lastly, I have to do a rant because we jump all the way to 2 stars and I'm really sad about it. So I don't normally request ARCs or get ARCs of books, and if you're not familiar, an ARC is an advanced reader copy that they send out early to promote the book and to get reviews on Goodreads and Amazon and stuff. I am a part of a NetGalley, which is a website that you can join to review digital ARCs, and now they have audiobooks as well. I have not used it for a long time. I think I've only actually reviewed 1 book on there. However, I heard that Shea Earnshaw was coming out with a new book called The Beautiful Maddening, and it was all around like tulips and tulip magic, and I was like, I have to have that for my flower readathon. So I sent an email to the publisher and they never got back to me. So I decided to look on NetGalley and they had it, so I requested it and I got it in. One reason I don't read ARCs is that I don't like the pressure. 1, I put enough pressure on myself with my own TBRs and readathons. 2, it doesn't matter to me if I read books early usually. I'll just wait until they come out, and usually I prefer to do audiobooks for the most part, and the audiobooks are very rarely done in ARC form, and I'm not good at reading on e-reader. It just takes me so much longer to read on an ebook than it does a physical book. But I figured for readathons that I would make the effort to read a handful of ARCs because they fit the readathon themes. So I requested this one, a couple others for different readathons that you'll see me talking about soon. I was so excited for this one. I did not fully love The Wicked Deep, which was her debut novel, but it's like a fan favorite. I liked it, but I didn't love it. But I did love Winterwood. It's one of my favorite books ever. It's like witchy in the woods, magical vibes, really good. So I was really excited for this one. So I was reading the ebook for Randomathon Flowers and I just did not finish it in time, and I'm so glad that I didn't, because I was on a roll reading 4 and 5-star reads for that one, and this one, it was just not very good, and I feel terrible because at first I thought it was just because I was reading it on ebook and I just have a harder time reading it on ebook, and it was taking me like a long time. But I had another friend reading it as well, and she messaged me when I was about halfway through and said, I think I hate this tulip book. And I was like, oh my gosh, really? Because I'm struggling with it, and I thought it was just because it was on ebook. And she's like, no, I'm not liking it. So we started discussing it, and that kind of encouraged me to finish it. And this one was supposed to be about a family curse. The 1800s, their family worked for Holland tulip farmers, and one of them stole some of the bulbs and brought them to America to start a new life and planted them, and without knowing, started a family curse whenever the tulips bloom for them to fall in love with their family members, but it won't be like real love. It's just infatuation. And so we're following our main characters. There's a brother and a sister, and the brother likes to kind of use this to his advantage and like get as many girls as possible and get better grades, because even the people that don't want to date them are like more inclined to do things for them. And then she wants nothing to do with the curse. She can't wait to leave like her small town in this like kind of woodsy area. And then one day she meets a boy and he doesn't seem as drawn to her as everyone else. So my problems with this book. 1, the tulip magic was not very well explained or thought out. I thought we were going to go maybe more into the past and kind of dive into the history of the family. But this felt very much like a contemporary book with just some magic thrown in. There was a lot of things to do with like high school and angsty feelings and stuff, which is fine. It's YA. I feel like it just didn't match the description super well. Also, the tulip magic did not make sense because it was kind of established that while the tulips are blooming, people fall in love with them, and then once that's done, the curse is broken. But then that's kind of contradicted at different parts of the book, and then it's very, very slow. Our main character is very angsty. She's very upset and negative about this curse, and she can never find true love, but she doesn't feel like she can leave, and that got a little bit bothersome as it continued on. And then the ending was kind of infuriating, to be honest. I just really did not like it very much. Some of the descriptions of the land and everything was really cool. There was just so many things contradicted in this. It reminded me a little bit of some of the stuff I didn't like in The Wicked Deep. And you guys know me, I'm pretty easy to please. I don't go into books to overanalyze them or to overly critique them. If things just kind of hit me, then I will discuss them, but I don't want to go into a book book thinking like, well, hopefully I like this one and they better prove themselves to me. I'm just not that kind of reader, especially when I'm doing like arcs. I really want to like them even more because I got the arc. I felt terrible because I left a 2.5-star review because I wanted to be honest, and I feel like a lot of times when people get arcs, they're not honest with books because they don't want to talk bad about something that they got for free, but then the reviews don't really mean anything. And I'm also kind of the firm believer that negative reviews are still better than no reviews because people will hear about the book, and I can't tell you how many times people have talked negatively about a book and I've still picked it up just because I've completely forgotten their review and just remember the picture and the synopsis, or I'm like, oh, I want to see for myself if I like it. So just take that with a grain of salt. I feel like a lot of people might like this. It might work better for someone that is a teenager in this particular case. I love a lot of young adult books, but this might be one where it works better for a younger audience. I just wanted more. I wanted more magic. I wanted more from the flowers and the tulips. It just didn't really work for me. So unfortunately, a 2.5-star. All right, so that is everything that I read for the second half of April. Very proud of myself because I'm finishing up some series and really getting caught up. I read my first arc, even though it didn't really go very well. I've got a couple more to read this year. Let me know how your reading month in April went, what your favorite book of the month was. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Bright Side Girl if you haven't already, and hit subscribe as I post 2 videos every week. And I will see you guys next time on The Bright Side.